Hey, welcome back to Seeking God First. This is podcast number 2, and I'm Julita.
And I'm Natasha.
And today we're going to talk about friendships. Oh, that was good.
I have some pictures actually.
Oh my goodness.
Look, you haven't seen these.
Proverbs 27:9 says, "A sweet friendship refreshes the soul."
Hi, it's Natasha.
And I'm Julita. And we're just two besties blessed to be doing this thing called life together. Join us as we share our friendship over the last 25 years and explore Christ at the center of everything, from parenting, careers, relationships, and so much more. So this is actually really exciting for me because I am an only child. I think I probably just said that as we're getting ready. And so friendships are so important to me. They are the backbone of who I am. It's part of my character. It's how I live my life. It shapes my life and it feeds who I am. And I just get so energized by being around other people. So I love to just take a deep dive on what friendships are today. And what do you want to talk about?
You said let's talk about friendships. I think I've spent so much time alone.
Okay.
I always say you need like 2 or 3. I always just say 2. And I'm blessed enough to have, I would say, more than that.
Yeah.
But I feel like I kind of want to, I want to speak on the side of when you are alone, to the people who are alone, who maybe don't have as many friends.
I remember as like some pivotal moments where like being in middle school and just there was something about you that I always found captivating. I knew I wanted to be around you. You had great energy. You were absolutely gorgeous as you are now, but I wanted to be your friend so bad. And I remember like in a history class, it almost seemed like every day I would look at you and I'd say, "Natasha, are you still my friend?" And you're like, "Yes, I'm still your friend." But I would like ask you every day and never once
I don't remember that.
You like maybe one time got upset because you're like, "Hey, when I'm not your friend, I'll let you know." But I think because I asked all the time and I was so insecure. But even then, like the next day you'd come in and like you'd make me feel so warm and welcome.
Aww.
And then, I don't know, I just feel like when we got into high school and classes really split up and we had 2 other schools that joined in, I didn't get to see you as much. And so then our circle of friends at that point started to kind of shift and change. And then just, different activities I was involved in or different relationships that you had because I really didn't date. But I just feel like we kind of pulled away a little bit. Like we were always still there. And like junior miss, that brought us back together. And then you talked about college, but I just feel like even in those moments, like activities or circles or people or friends or things, you were still there. So I'd never have not felt like we haven't been friends.
No, yeah. And I think that's what's so special about it is, one, we've known each other ever since we were like 5 years old.
Yeah.
Despite the different seasons, when we have came back in the same space, we didn't miss a beat.
No.
When I think about our friendship, for me, especially in the most recent years, going through my divorce, going through just all of that trauma, and you stuck with me. And in that season, I was not a good friend. I was so consumed by my own sorrow, that I wasn't checking in on anybody else. I was just trying to make it. I was trying to figure out how to be a single mom. I was trying to keep my emotions regulated. I didn't have time to be checking on anybody else. And then also, I didn't even share a lot about what was going on with me, right? I kind of closed down because I couldn't. I literally did not have the emotional capacity. But despite all of that, and that was probably a good year of all of that, you were still there. And I think for me, it was like I pushed so many people away. The fact that you were still there and I was not a good friend during that time, I love you even more.
Oh, I love you. I'll say this. I never had that thought. I never once thought, okay, I will say this. I've told you this. I did want to be there more for you. I felt like I could feel the push, right? But I understood. And I never held any of that. I just wanted to be part of it so that you didn't ever feel alone. Or if whoever else you were leaning on at that moment couldn't be there for you, you knew that, okay, I can call her and she will be there. And you did. You let me in the best you could. And I accepted that because I knew that that's where I needed to be at that time.
At that time.
Yeah.
Now, if things, something like that happened now,
Yeah.
and even going through that, right? There's different levels of friendship. And I think, when you go through the fire together, or you see one another, you pray each other through that, different seasons of life, and that's when, you just get stronger and stronger. And then also through mistakes, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we both shared some deep secrets with each other, and I feel like when you just look at each other, you don't judge one another. That's a good friend, right? Yeah. Think about friendship. When you think about maybe we're trying to help somebody be a good friend to someone else or a better friend. Maybe this is their season where they want to be a better friend. What are the top 3 things they can do? What are the top 3 qualities that you appreciate in a friend?
Is what I value in a friendship is that first thing, not feeling that there's any judgment, that you can completely bare your soul with that person, and that person look at you with that same godly forgiveness, right? Because I think we believe as friends that there's only one person that gets to be the judge. And so knowing that you can confide in a friend, and I don't think that there's many friends that you can actually do that with, right? So that's what makes it even more special, that you can completely tell them your soul, and they look at you, and the first thing they say is either "I'm sorry you had it" or "It's okay," right?
It's okay.
Maybe you know better, but it's okay, right? I don't
look
treat
at you any
differently.
This is what you've said to me.
Yeah. I think the second thing is just to be yourself. Like, they allow you to show up who you are. Even I think that I don't know. I think I change, not to the core, right? But I think that I change because I get older. I change because I've had different life experiences, or because, I don't know, that moment it just feels good to be that. And somebody who doesn't come back and say, "Hey, who are you?" or like, "Okay, that's just Julita being Julita in that moment. She's just being herself." And then I think the last thing is, sorry, because sometimes I get too serious, somebody you can just be fun with. Like, me trying to pick you up, like, that is, I don't know. I want to be playful. I want to be fun. I want to have experiences. I want to talk about crazy stuff, stay up late at night, and just feel like we're 18 again. I want to always feel like I have friendships that take us from childhood to the nursing home.
Oh gosh, no, we're not going there anytime soon.
Hopefully not.
For me, trust is everything in every single relationship, like it is for most people. But if I feel like I can't tell you something without you going to tell somebody else, then probably we're not going to be friends, or I'm closed off in that vulnerable space. I can't tell you certain things, which we want that. We want that in a friendship. So, like, no gossip is number 1, isn't it?
Yeah. I think that we do this really well is challenging each other.
Ooh, yeah.
Right?
That's true.
It's growing each other. It's bringing in new perspectives. It's, pushing us toward either a godly path or professional, or how, if I'll say, "Hey, I'm parenting this way. What do you think?" And you'll either meet me or say, "Have you thought about it this way?" Right? I think that's healthy to have in friendships. It doesn't come from a place of, "Well, I know it better than you."
Right.
It's, I want the best for you, just like God does, right? I want you to have the desires of your heart, or I want to see you succeed. I remember posting that, right? A real friendship rejoices in each other's success. You see their true beauty from within. It's, we love to get all dolled up and put makeup on, but we're also okay, like, looking like a little hot mess at the same time. And
I think sometimes that just means being each other's cheerleader.
Yes.
And Hannah said this earlier, but one thing that I think is really important when you have a friendship is understanding how they feel loved, right?
Yes.
And, for us, words of affirmation is probably number 1, right? So one of the things if we ever spend time with each other, it's like, as soon as we leave, we're like, "That was so fun." We give each other words of affirmation.
Yes.
Even last night, you texted me and said, "I cannot wait until tomorrow." So it's just like, we both give each other that. We both pep each other up and encourage each other in that way. And I think that's really important to me too. We never have to wonder where each other's thoughts are, right?
Exactly. What do you think defines a godly friendship?
Well,
and it can be simple, right?
Yeah, for me, I go back to what is love. And love is patient. Love is kind. One big thing is love keeps no record of wrongs, you know?
Yes.
So we got to give each other a lot of grace. Even if we do something or say something that might hurt each other's feelings, because we've done that, then we got to let it go and just keep moving. Love keeps no record of wrongs, and love is so kind to each other. And we want to be that kind, soft voice, encouraging voice, lifting voice in each other's minds when we think about each other, right?
Yes.
Or in those moments when you think you need some encouragement, what would Natasha say to me? This is what it would sound like, you know?
Yeah.
So that's probably the simple answer for me. The godly friendship is like, just love each other, be kind, be patient, be merciful. And when each other makes mistakes, because this is not a perfect friendship by any means, you know, then just forgive each other and keep moving. Yeah. What about for you?
I would agree 100%. And I think I love the direction you took from Corinthians, 1 Corinthians, by the way, for that. I think the other piece would be, and I know it's like on my heart, I feel it. It's James chapter 5:16. Okay. Therefore, confess your sins to each other and pray for each other so that you may be healed. The prayer of a righteous person is powerful and effective. I think it's that same level of vulnerability that we talked about, right? Being able to go to that friend, to bare your soul and to share that and know that there's no judgment, and that person's just going to meet you where you are and pray for you. Pray for you to be restored, pray for you to be healed, pray for you to have recompense, pray for you to be liberated, to have passion, whatever that is that you're seeking in those moments. What would be your ideal date or evening date with your best friend?
Ooh, I have two though. Okay. Because I go both ways. Sometimes I like to just do something real chill.
Sure. Okay, give us both.
Oh, I could have so many ideas. Okay, well let me say it this way. My favorite memory of us probably is taking the girls to Branham Forest.
Okay.
So I would say that.
Okay.
But I mean, I also love getting dressed up and going out to dinner or something like that. But I would probably say that's my favorite memory. Taking the girls to Branham Forest. So that's just like a picnic. Going for a walk, a hike, that's my favorite. Okay. Yeah. And memories, just making memories. That's one thing that we should do. Someone should do if they feel like, I don't have that, or they feel alone. Like, pray for that. Ask God to send you somebody who is going to help you in whatever season that you're in. Ask Him for good friendships. Ask Him to show you how to be a better friend.
Time with your girlfriends. If you don't want to start with a devotional and you just want to start with, hey, every Thursday we're going to get together, we're going to go walk at the park, or we're going to go have dinner at the Mexican restaurant, or we're just do something that gets you and your friend or friends together, and then see how that leads you, and I hope that we inspire you to do many devotionals that we do with our friends on Tuesday and Thursdays. I look so forward in the mornings to hearing everybody and seeing who jumps on and their perspectives and what they're going through in life, because that helps us to pray for them and to support them. And it makes that touch point, that check-in easier, because I can just text, hey, I heard you say this yesterday. I'm thinking about you. Is there something I can do for you? What do you need from me? Can I talk to you tonight? Can I call you on my way home, right?
Yeah, and I think, one thing a lot of people don't know about us is that we've been doing these devotionals for a long time. Yeah. We started and we stopped doing them for a while because we did become more busy, different seasons of life. And so I think no matter where you are, you can make it work, because we get up at 6 a.m.
Yes.
6 to 6:15. It is only 15 minutes, but it changes the whole day. Yeah. And, before we were bringing hors d'oeuvres
But then I think about being in your basement and the four of us at that time, and you'd have your essential oils going on. We called it our Jesus juice. And then we went caroling. Just think about all the different things that spun from that. And then, and to where we are now, we have, almost 10 of us in this every week, 2 times a week. How that plays out. And then your little nice challenge of Friday devotionals. So.
Let's wrap this baby up. Okay. All right. Our love language is words of affirmation. So I'm going to tell you what I really appreciate about you right now in this season. I really appreciate about you that you're so composed. And I don't think that you know that you're this way. Like, I think you do, but I don't think you know to the extent. You always say things in like a beautiful way. And you say this about me, but it's true about you. Like, you're so professional and you're just so composed, and you just have an eloquent way of carrying yourself and in the way that you say things. And this is something that I have struggled with whenever God called me to speak in front of people. I'm like, but God.
Mm-hmm.
And so together as a pair, I feel like you just balance me out, and I appreciate that so much. I also appreciate that in this season, this is my passion of what we're doing, just evangelizing, talking about God, encouraging, and just being the light. Like, you're with me, and I love that so much. Like, God is using us both. And, you know, there's been a lot of devotionals that we have had together that I think in my mind, no, that's I'm not supposed to talk about that.
Yeah.
What do you know, at the end of the devotional, this has happened at least 3 or 4 times,
Yeah.
then you say, and I would also like to add. And I'm like, I'm over here like,
Yeah.
because it's exactly what I held back on saying. And you're fitting the pieces to the puzzle, and God is using us. And it's confirmation that we're right where we need to be. And I'm so thankful for you and your obedience to God also.
What I love the most about you and what you bring to our friendship is this unending balance of, you expect me to show up as myself.
Mm-hmm.
And when I do, you meet me where I am every single time, no matter, like when we talked about that, first grade, middle school, high school, college, grown women, single women, motherhood, wife, whatever. You allow me to be me. And I can say I have never felt that you've judged me. I mean, we both have shared some very deep things, right? Experiences, thoughts. And I have never felt like you looked at me any differently. I feel like, if anything, you love me anymore, or that you say, okay, that bonds us even more. And then you challenge me, right, back to how am I going to either ask for forgiveness, to let it go, to be better, to use it to help somebody else. I love that you have that ability, and you make me feel so safe. And I think that's something that I can't say I've always felt in relationships, is feeling safe, whether it's in a male to female or female. I don't always feel safe, and you do that so well and genuinely. I think the other thing is just the playfulness. I'll always go back to that, because I think sometimes I can be too serious, and you help to bring that out in me, and I see that in you, and I love that when you are as well. But I hope today that, you know, people watching this, whether, again, I know this was kind of centered on probably girly stuff today, but I really hope that someone gets blessed by just seeing what I and what we feel is a true and genuine friendship that's always been there, and that they don't get lost in the fact that you don't have to pull this friendship from 25 years ago.
Yeah, that's
even
true.
though it's longer than 25, but
Yeah.
that you will create new friendships. You will find new friendships. That friendships will come and friendships will go. Look at the ones that are there right now, and how do you invest in them more? So do that evaluation. If you're already being an amazing friend, you know, don't stop doing that. But how can you make the experiences that you guys have together even better? How can it manifest itself through godly friendships? How do you give back to your community? You know, challenge yourselves, grow your friendship in a different way that you haven't before. And if you are sitting here and you don't have a friend at all, that's okay. We're your friends. Always come back. But, you know, do something different. Get outside of yourself. Show up at an event that you wouldn't normally go to. Ask a coworker at lunch that maybe you kind of feel like you have something in common, to grab a bite to eat. Just do something different to try to cultivate a new friendship. And if that one doesn't feel like it's bringing you outwardly to who you want to be, then be okay and let that friendship go as well.
Right. We're going to do this again next month?
Absolutely. So we're going to lock ourselves into at least 12 of these. And I did say at least. So once a month,
yes,
we're going to do this. And we're going to have new topics. So,
all right. I think that's it. We got it? Is it a wrap?
Girl, what about that glow up though?
Seriously. I mean, that period in life was kind of rough, just saying. But I'm extremely grateful now, not just for the external, but the internal.
Yes, honey, God is good.
Woo!